In the House podcast with Toni Singh and
Jenny Woon.
And today we have a really fun topic for you guys. We wanted to discuss referrals. Yeah. And how to help your clients refer you awesome, great clients.
To help you market
your
your business.
Correct. Basically, we wanted to really touch on this because we're definitely limited in our opportunities to meet new people at events these days, even open
Totally.
houses.
Yep. We're restricted on holding open houses.
Correct. You're not holding any right now, are you?
Well, it's by appointment, but
Yeah,
the
us too.
amount of appointments that we have, we might as well hold an open house.
I know. With the staggering, it's a little bit hard sometimes to space the people.
Yeah.
Especially if someone's running a couple minutes late.
That doesn't help. But
Yeah.
we've had to put a couple people at the open houses just to man the doors and make sure
Of
everybody
course.
has COVID forms filled out.
It's a little bit more manpower, actually, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, so that's one of the, first and foremost, that was the main reason why we wanted to discuss this on the podcast today. And sometimes, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I think a lot of realtors have at one point. It can be really scary asking for a referral from a client because you don't want to be seen as too pushy or aggressive.
I can see that happening, but there's always ways to navigate that conversation, which we're going to get into.
That's right. So I'm excited to talk about that. And then finally, something that we may underestimate is how vast and large our own clients' own networks can be.
Actually, I recall going back to one of our conversations when we had our guest, Jess Leneval.
Yeah.
She actually mentioned, and I was recently on one of her Facebook discussions as well. That was a live tour, live event where they were discussing you should interview your existing clients because then you can format or brand your message based on your existing clients you want to work with. And so
clever.
Totally, right?
I mean, how else would you really know?
Yeah, they're going to know.
It's their experience.
Yeah, and they're going to have the same type of friends and family that you want to work with. And so by interviewing your existing database, you can actually brand yourself and message it, have a consistent message.
For sure.
And attract the same type of buyers that you want to work with.
Well, I think that that's a really important point. I'm glad you brought it up. And today, if you're listening, what you'll take away from the podcast today is developing long-term relationships by helping people you like because they are your ideal clients. And it's the most cost-effective way to sustain your business.
That's true because referrals basically are very warm leads. And I would say the ability to close and turn over them into a home is much shorter time span compared to an indirect lead or a cold lead.
Sure. I mean, it totally makes sense. So basically, we'll also touch on finally how to educate your clients to do the best marketing for you.
Right.
Through referrals.
So what we're saying is, how are you going to ask your clients to ask their friends to use you?
Let's start there. Let's start there.
So let's talk about why, first of all, why clients some reasons why they would refer you. Actually, part of your business, what percentage would you say is referrals and what percentage would you say are online cold leads or other sources?
We're 90% referral.
Okay.
And so to answer your first question, why clients would refer is that they've had an amazing experience with you. And the relationship is really strong. You've obviously helped them in a way that was successful. And so they want other friends and family who are also looking to buy or sell a home to have that same experience. So we're 90, it would be a little bit higher, but I say 90% because I also like to cold call still. And so I get business that way too because it's fun.
Where do you get your list of cold calling to start
it's
the cold
harder
call?
these days for sure because the numbers are not listed. So it used to be more so going in person to doors, although with COVID and everything, I didn't do that for a while just because you don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. And then it can be 411 or whitepages.ca. But typically, if you have a list of 100 people, you might only get 20% of the numbers
Okay.
on there if you're
And
calling by telephone.
And then are you matching it with the do not call list?
Is the real estate council watching this? I do not.
Okay.
I mean, I used to, but then I'm impeded in terms of being efficient with time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happened before where I've referenced that list. And, sometimes it's not always up to date. So you end up calling somebody that may or may not be on it.
Mm-hmm.
I find that where I have called someone on the list, if you just apologize profusely and take them off of the list forever, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not allowed to say that, but that's what I do. That's what I do.
I guess you would only really get in trouble or
if they report
you, right? Yeah. But is that the best use of time?
This is a great question. So you'll notice that I said 90% of our business is referral.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the majority of the business,
mm-hmm.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it is true that it's harder to turn a cold lead into a client.
Mm-hmm.
But as you recall from one of the last sessions, I have been able to do that, like Mr. Singh,
right.
Not my dad, Mr. Singh, Singh. If you listened to the other one that we filmed the other day, he's been a long-term repeat client for the last 8 years. I've sold 3 properties for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think referrals, back to this discussion, are definitely they convert a lot easier and certainly can be a nicer experience for both parties, right? Because they already kind of know you through a friend or family member that have referred you. Mm-hmm. And from there, there's already the trust that exists, right, that you don't have to, if I just met you, and I always say that a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet, most of the time. But you're kind of starting from scratch. They have no idea who I am. How are they supposed to know, like, and trust me?
Right.
And then why would they list their property with me? So you have to, it's harder to do it the other way.
Okay. Well, I do notice that a lot of clients end up referring because for self-gratitude reasons. They want to add value to that relationship to whoever they're referring the business to. Yeah. And it makes them look good. It kind of builds their rapport and builds their own relationship with that realtor and with that person that they're referring to.
Of course. I mean, are you when people ask you for a referral for somebody in industry, like, I don't know, oil tank, mortgage broker, maybe, builder, developer.
Yeah. I feel really important. I feel like I am the resource for everyone. Do you have a painter? Do you have, I have one girlfriend. She's like, I hope you don't mind me asking you all these questions because you're the only person I know that has all these connections. Yeah. And I'm like, of course not. Like, I feel.
Well, I also assume that your friend would have asked you that because she would know that you would align yourself with people that have similar work ethic to yours.
Yes.
And that are going to do a great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
She values my opinion as
100%. Yeah. And so when someone says, hey, Jenny, do you have a referral for this?
Yeah.
Like when someone asks me for a referral, I'm not referring the name unless I have confidence in this person.
So you've worked with that.
Oh, for sure. Or
company.
If I haven't before, I would say, hey, listen, some people that I know have had a good experience with this person. I have not dealt with them directly, so I don't know what the experience would be like. And here's the information. And can I follow up with you after to see how your experience was? Because I want to make sure that if I haven't dealt directly with that person, like for example, lawyer or a tradesperson, I want to know what it was like for my client who I gave the referral to from start to finish in terms of that process.
Right. And so what's on the opposite end of the spectrum, what would be a reason why a client would not want to refer you?
This is a good question. Do you mean in general?
Yeah. So I feel like the opposite is the risk of letting you down.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I understand the question. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
Because you're relying on somebody who's an expert in that field and again, shared values and same work ethic. And so if there's some sort of disappointment or they're let down in some way, that referral came originally from you, right?
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. How about, again, another reason is when your client thinks that you're too busy to receive the referrals.
Yeah, that has happened before. Or they'll actually call me and ask, they're like, hey, can you help this person? They're looking for this or what have you. I know that you're really busy. I'm not sure if you'd be willing to take it on, which, to be honest, I actually think it's quite thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that you're active.
Mm-hmm.
They want to ask your permission first, and they want to make sure that you're going to be able to service their friend or family member, which I think is a respectful thing to do for the friend or family member too.
Right. So if, for example, if that person who was referred doesn't follow through, then the person who is doing the job gets let down. Does that make sense?
Say it again. Try it again. No, it's okay. It kind of did, but I don't know if people listening would get it.
The person who is sending the referral,
the referrer,
yeah, referring. Wait, who are the characters here? The referrer
is the person
who's sending the referral.
Yeah.
And then the referred.
Or they are the referral.
They're the referral.
Yeah.
So the referral, if the referral does not follow through,
yes,
that means that the middleman, the referrer.
Yeah. See? Yeah, but I get it.
Hopefully you guys have followed this.
I got it.
Maybe we should put a connect the dots on the screen as...
Can we do that, production team? It's I don't want to do it.
So they may get let down because if they're like, well, I have a client or I have a friend that's going to be calling you, and then they end up not calling, then that disappoints the person who...
Referrer.
The recipient.
Okay. So I guess, so we're kind of talking then about why clients don't refer, right?
Right.
It's the other flip of the coin, why clients wouldn't refer. So I get what you're saying. You're saying when people make a referral, they're putting their trust in you, and there's a certain level of expectation of service.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they might not refer you someone if they're worried that they're going to let you down.
Correct. Yes.
Is what you're saying. And also at the risk of letting them down. What happens if you are too busy to be able to help this person that they care about?
Yeah.
And finally, I would say, you said before, they might not understand your client profile and perhaps feel that their referral is too small.
Yeah. So
do you mean price point or just?
Yeah, it could be you know what? You're too busy. I don't want you to waste your time.
Yeah.
They only want to buy something that's $500,000. I notice that you're always selling houses.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
And maybe it's better that I refer this out to somebody else.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Have you ever had it happen where, I've had it happen where a client wanted to refer me one of their friends, but they called me first and they said, this person, I'm not going to lie, I love them dearly, but they are so annoying to work with. And I don't want to refer them to you because I honestly think that they're going to drive you crazy. And having said that, I will, but I almost don't want to. Have you had that happen? I've had that happen.
I don't know what the reason is, but there would be family members like sisters, brothers, moms who would use another realtor.
Okay.
And I'm like,
that's pretty common.
I wonder why.
People have their own reasons too, hey, for sometimes not wanting to use somebody that they know. And I never think that you should take that personally because sometimes you never know what's happening with someone's financial situation.
Oh yeah. That could be a little bit too personal, right?
That's what I mean though. Yeah. And real estate, it can be... It's a personal thing sometimes, right? It's tied in with finances.
Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes people it's not a reflection on you as a realtor. If they didn't want to use, in that example that you gave, to use you for your service, it could just be that they're not comfortable letting you know more information about their finances because you're in the same sphere as them. And maybe they think, they just don't want to let people in.
Yeah. About that. That's totally understandable.
Yeah.
In fact, I would probably say my mortgage broker, my friends who are mortgage brokers, I never use them.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Why? Same reason?
This is a little bit too personal.
Interesting.
So I always use somebody from the branch or somebody that I completely don't even know.
That is very interesting. See? Case in point.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be offended if it happens to you.
No. So what are 4 steps? Let's provide some steps to our listeners on how to ask for a referral.
Okay, so I think that you're not getting a referral at all if you're not providing an excellent customer experience. So that requires providing value. What would be the value? Well, obviously, getting the job done. So whether it's selling somebody's home or helping them buy a primary residence or an investment property, that's the first thing. If you haven't done that, it's very unlikely that they're going to refer you to a friend or family member.
That makes sense.
What else would you think to add to that?
I would say as well, clarifying expectations and knowing that what you are promising is what is going to be expected or being fulfilled. So you're very clear on what your services are and what your values are and how you conduct your business.
So can I ask a question about that? How do you deal with that then with your clients? Is that on client intake when you're kind of addressing all of the things that you're going to do for them? Or would you say that it's the process throughout? Like how do you do that in your business?
I believe it's very clear when, let's just say I meet someone new and we're going through our buyer's binder.
Yeah.
And it's very clear how our discussion goes. This is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And how we're describing it at the beginning is what they're actually experiencing when they make their purchase.
Okay, so there's alignment there in terms of 1, you've gone over the process to prime their expectations, and then you followed through and delivered on that process that you've already gone over. Okay, that makes 100% sense.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
The other thing is you're knowledgeable and providing information throughout the entire process. So you're seen as the expert, and you are up to date on education, on courses, on stats, and so you're that information provider for them. Like I mentioned earlier, you're that resource. So if there's any questions from the news or any tweets or anything that's new from the industry, that person will come to you and say, hey, is this true? Or can you clarify this? Hey, I heard such and such news. Can you clarify how this impacts me?
Yeah, so it's like authority figure, specialist, but also educator. Because I don't like the word authority in that. It's kind of like we like to educate our clients and move forward together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be step 1, provide value to earn their trust. Step 2.
Engaging with your clients on a whole new level. So when you're asking referral, so you know those white reports where you're providing like how-tos or 10 tips.
Is that what it's called? White reports?
White reports,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Posting on blogs, here to offer you or give you like free information.
Oh, sure.
So that when you're engaging and providing free information all the time and reports, then it allows you to have your client share that information to everybody else in their network.
Yeah, that's true. We've had that happen as well. Like that share button. Very easy to do. I think when you're creating content or delivering information that has to do with what the client would be thinking, rather than, oh, what am I thinking as an individual in the real estate profession? There's more value proposition for that. Because the way that we understand real estate, for being in the industry for more than a decade each, we've been in the industry a long time, it is very different than somebody who's having that experience for the very first time. So the information curated directly for them, for somebody that's hearing all of these terms and all of these processes, it can be really overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I meant when I think it's really important to make all content and all information about them, not about you.
Right.
That goes with the sale too, right? Like you want to show them the properties that are going to match exactly what they're looking for.
Right. So that leads into one of the points that I have is make it about them, not about you. So I know there's a lot of self-gratitude and a lot of self-promotion in the post about the latest awards you've won or the latest sale you've done, or the big number of transactions you've done for the year. But that's a one-way street where you're just boasting about your business. To connect with your clients, I would definitely encourage you to have, make it like a two-way conversation where you're sharing their story. For example, maybe I just saw a post where this couple took possession of their home, and then the guy proposed to the girl
Oh, that's so
at
nice.
possession. And that I find is just a fantastic story to share. And to me, like being able to have a realtor kind of involved in that process and in that chapter is just amazing to witness.
I didn't see that one. That's a great story.
So again, make it about them, not about you. And so that resonates and that triggers some emotion with the viewers.
It's so true. To be honest, even on our social media feed, Warren and I struggled with that for a long time because at some point we weren't posting at all, new listings or solds. And then it was like we kind of need to sometimes once in a while to show that we are actually working. But I don't like those posts. I find them really boring. And the most engagement we've had from existing clients or friends or family that are not yet clients, and even people that just come across the feed, it's information that's 100% about them.
Right.
And then they actually reach out and message. So,
well, it does sound like a lot of the stories you guys share are recent, like situations that has
they're
happened,
all recent
right?
and up to date. But it's interesting. And then it's just great being able to have a conversation with somebody in that way. And I do think that it provides more value to them rather than, hey, look, I sold this $1 million property. Look at me. Anyhow.
Well, regardless of the distance, because obviously right now we're at COVID and we have to keep our distance, always appreciate their support, say thank you, and acknowledge the fact that without them, you wouldn't have a business. So one of the last points I wanted to talk about was by engaging with your client is offering content that is similar values and similar shared interest. So for example, if you're specifically working in a community like Burnaby Heights or East Vancouver, what kind of events that are happening in that neighborhood, and be engaged with the community, be involved with the people that are living there. And it just shows that you are inspired and you want to support locals.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip.
Okay. So ways to make a referral request.
Step
I think
3.
that's the hardest part because again, you don't want to feel like you're too pushy, you're too nosy, or So what would be the first step?
Well, I think that it's really important to know your value. You and I have talked about this before. It was on a different podcast episode. But I think if you're looking at it from the standpoint that, you know what, I do provide all of my clients with amazing value. And of course, you'd love to provide that to people that they know and like as well. So generally, when do I make the referral request? It's normally after something really exciting has happened. So we've either secured their dream home purchase, right? It's like that event where it's amazing. It's finally happening. This is fantastic. And it's kind of like, hey, and by the way, I'm so excited and happy that you've been happy with our service along the way because you don't even need to ask. They're just going to praise you and praise you and praise you. And then just say, hey, listen, if you have any friends or family that are wanting any type of help with real estate, please put me in touch with them. I'd love to help them and have them have the same experience that you've had.
Right. So that's
and
part of
you still make it about them though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's that. So you're directly asking that question, or
I do, depending on the client. I know you're supposed to do it all the time, but I've noticed that in my business, I really only like to work with people now that are my ideal client. It's just so much more fun. It's so rewarding. It does not feel like work. So I don't ask everybody.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah. These are verbal actions. Another one that we tend to do on the West One team, we actually have created a separate landing page on our website.
I saw it. It's very cool.
Yeah. So there's a link on our signature for emails. If you have a referral, click on this link. And then on that link, you can fill in your name and then fill in the person you're referring. for us, we actually give $500 for every transaction that completes.
So we actually do that too, but we don't have a landing page for that. It's a discussion after, like, they get in touch with us about the referral,
Okay.
and then we just let them know.
Okay.
So we're not as automated in that way, but I like
Well,
it. I like it.
Just to let you know, no one has filled it out.
Oh.
So far.
I'll do it.
No, so far. That would be great if you can give me a lead. But so far, it's more just, hey, like texting is so much faster almost, right?
That's the thing. I like the idea of the landing page, though. I did see it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And very clear language and everything. It's very transparent.
Yep. Yeah. We also invite people to housewarming gifts, housewarming parties.
So when you could have the parties.
Yes, when we could have the parties.
Yeah.
And then one more thing is after their possession, we send out a survey from SurveyMonkey.
Yes.
And it asks a bunch of questions like, how was our service? Why did you pick us? If there's information in our newsletter that you like to specifically know about, what kind of content would you like to learn or read about? And for every testimonial they put in that survey, they get a $20 gift card.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad for all of the clients that gave us really great testimonials. I didn't give them a $20 gift card.
Well, they shouldn't expect anything back. But
that's the thing.
It's just a final
I like
touch.
that idea.
Yeah.
The reason why I think we never incentivize for that is because I want my mindset was of the space where I wanted it to be authentic, and I didn't want them to think that I was giving them something. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that would actually happen, but I didn't want them to just write a testimonial knowing that they were going to get something. However, I think that's a good idea.
I think it still would be authentic.
It would be, but at first, do you know what I mean? There's like another motivating factor.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want that to compromise the testimonials.
No, I don't think it has.
But I think you're right. I don't think it does.
If anything, it's just the
gift card.
Like,
I appreciate you.
But it's a reminder, a gift card 2 weeks later after they move in.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just another touch point.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Living in your home? Have you moved in, and unpacked? So it's just another add-on of touch point because you're supposed to do it like 52 times in a year or something.
Oh, I don't follow that. Interesting. That's a lot. I have a question though. So when you send out the gift cards, do you call the client just to see how their move-in and everything is gone, or do you send the gift card and then wait for them to get in touch with you?
No. So I don't expect anything once they move in. So they get the survey automatically into their email.
Right.
They fill out the form. If they fill in the testimonial, then we just mail them the gift card. And then it goes back into our system of follow-ups.
Okay. Yeah.
Anniversaries, birthdays, texting, liking their post, things like that.
Okay. I love that.
There's also some passive methods that we also implement at West One is continuously having that slogan about the referral in our newsletters, in our e-newsletters and our hard copy newsletters that we mail out, just to thank you. Well, in our social media posts as well.
That's actually kind of the fifth point, I guess, which is incentivize. We didn't really say that.
Okay.
It's
oh yeah.
Sorry,
okay.
The fourth step is to incentivize. And I think that you and your team have done a really great job of doing that. You have a note here too. It says to thank them publicly and privately, which I love.
So sometimes people want to build that reputation of being the know-it-all, like the person who's
the go-to
person. So we take pictures once in a while with someone receiving that gift card, and they don't mind being in our
Of course, you have to get permission. Yeah.
So that's worked out really well. We also acknowledge people at our parties. So when we have like client parties, maybe, the top 5 friends or families that refer us business tend to get a little bit more.
I think that that's important because it just shows that you're appreciating them on a more public level.
How about you? How do you incentivize?
So we do the when a client or friend or family refers us a separate client, and they actually close a transaction, we do a $500. It's actually a Visa, not a gift card, because then they can spend it wherever. And we, like I had mentioned, we don't incentivize for testimonials. We found that our clients just do that. But that's something that I probably would want to implement. After they've done it, just send them a quick gift card. I love that idea. I probably wouldn't advertise that. It's just like a, hey, thank you. We do say thank you, but it's nice for them to have something tangible that they can spend.
By the way, where do you get your Visa gift cards from?
That's a good question. To be honest, I used to get them from just Safeway.
Okay.
They have them at Safeway at the kiosk.
I have a tip for everyone.
Costco?
And you.
Oh.
No. Well, there are some Costco shoppers. Absolutely. Yeah. I actually asked them if they want to have a Costco card. But if you buy a Visa gift card from Van City, you don't get charged those
activation fee.
Activation fees.
It's like $5.95 or something. I can't remember.
Whatever it is, $7, up to $7 per Visa card.
Oh, that's a great tip, Jenny.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, if you ever buy a gift card for anybody and want to avoid that activation fee, just bring cash. If you're not a member at Van City,
I'm a
bring
member.
cash. Or it's automatic. You don't have to pay it. I think it's like just $2 anyway.
So inexpensive.
Yeah,
but it is more cost effective, especially if you're doing those a lot. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you for the tip.
Yeah, so Van City.
Okay.
And how about do you incentivize like kind of your network, like your interior designers, your mortgage brokers, lawyers?
You know, that is a great question. We don't. I know that you can. And I think that that's a separate business model too, kind of. We don't. Because again, for us, this might be a mindset thing. We'll have to talk about it later. I want all of our professional friends to refer us just based on knowing that we're going to do a great job. I don't want to provide them with an additional reason to incentivize. Now, this is also true of how I work. So, for example, a few years back, do you remember when the banks were offering certain programs if you were going to refer your real estate clients to their mortgage brokers? You would get,
RBC?
I never liked that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And TD rewards?
Yes. And while I appreciated mortgage brokers reaching out to me about the program, I would never refer somebody based on that.
Those points, right.
Because it's all about, like, in that scenario, I wouldn't actually care what was in it for me. I want you to be the mortgage broker who's going to do the best job for my client. And so that's why I run my business the same way. It was really hard to
accumulate those points anyways.
Was it? I've never.
Yeah, it was like it's cheaper to just go buy it yourself.
Is it?
Yes.
Interesting. So I hope that answers your question. I do think it's a good idea.
Okay.
I've had mindset issues around that, so I have not.
So,
what do you do?
For us, at the end of the year, maybe around Christmas time, New Year's, we just offer them like a bottle of wine for their, just celebration of the end of the year. But it's not every referral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's just something that's nice. It's nice to say, hey, have a great holiday, and here you go.
Yeah. But same thing. Like, I would expect that they're referring me and I'm referring them because we know
just
that
service-based and that you're a great person.
The quality of the service is going to be at par of how you want to be treated too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was the final step. Is there anything else that you want to say in regards to creating a referral engine source?
My biggest tip, my takeaway from this discussion.
Okay, say it.
I will.
Okay, bring it up.
My biggest takeaway for this discussion is always ask.
Do you want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
I was selling a home in the Aviara in Brentwood Park, and I came across one of your clients.
Okay.
Just so this is really funny. So
who lives there right now?
Yeah, and so I was selling a home. Don't say the name just in case they don't want privacy. But he's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm selling a property." He said, "Oh, what's the asking price?" So I told him. He's like, "What? That's insane." He's like, my realtor's Jenny Woon." I'm like, "Fantastic. She's one of my good friends." It was just funny because I was just there to, selling the property. And he's like, "Yeah, she's the greatest." I'm like, "Fantastic." So I feel like you've done a fantastic job at instilling in your clients your value. And also, I feel like this particular person would definitely be that person that you'd need to thank publicly because he's very vocal. We'll talk about him later. Anyhow, I have something fun if you don't have any other points.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot here because you did that to me the last time. Yeah. So this game is called Finish the Sentence.
Okay.
Okay. I can, but I'm going to ask you first. So if I wasn't in real estate, I would be
a professional volleyball player.
What? Are you good at volleyball? Are you good at it?
Well, I would be better if I kept it consistent, or I'd actually be a sports broadcaster.
I could picture you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with the headphones, you look so good in those.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Okay. Well, I didn't know that about you. I'm glad we're doing this.
Something sporty.
Okay.
What would you be?
Well, you have to ask me the question after.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, I'll just answer it. What would I be if I wasn't in real estate? I'd still be an entrepreneur in business. I love business. Okay. It would just be, I guess, not in real estate because it says, what would you do if you were not in real estate?
Not in real estate. Okay.
Yeah. Question number 2. When I'm relaxing, you can find me
at the beach.
I knew you were going to say the beach. Would it be beach volleyball?
No, just at the beach.
Okay.
I could be in the ocean.
It is a lovely, lovely place.
I could be picking up garbage. Because I love picking out, like making sure that the shorelines are clean.
Oh, giving back. Mm-hmm. Okay. I love it.
And
that's good.
Wait, what was the question again?
The question is,
the same question.
Question number 2, when I'm relaxing, you can find me.
Yeah. When you're relaxing, you can find me.
I don't relax.
Well, that's the wrong answer.
I know, but you said when I'm relaxing, you can find me. I would be trying to relax with my kids. But
that's not relaxing.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't relax. I'm either working, building the business, helping my clients, or I'm at home with my kids and it's not relaxing because we're playing, or I'm helping Stevie, who's 5 months old now. Okay. Question number 3. My next trip when we can travel freely again will be.
I have so many on my list.
You have to pick one.
Okay. Bali.
I've always wanted to go there. I've never been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be next for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Any particular place or just would you travel around?
I would, just go all around. I'd do
backpacking or?
Certain. No, not necessarily.
No? Okay. For me, when we can travel freely again, my next trip will be Hawaii. It's not as exotic as Bali, but with the kids, it would be easy because I have to take the kids with me. I can't go away.
I think kids are free right now going to Hawaii.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to travel yet. I'm not ready to travel yet, especially because the baby, I don't really want her on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just personal preference. And the final question is my number one goal for 2021 is.
Ooh, gosh. My number one goal.
Number one goal for this year
for 2021.
is.
I have so many goals that I've written down, but my main one, I would say, is find a location for my brokerage.
Oh, that is exciting, but you have a location.
I have not secured a location for the brokerage.
No?
No.
So this is temporary?
This is just an office space that we're in right now.
Okay, but so tell me more about it.
A full on Oakland brokerage.
Okay. Like as a franchise?
Yes.
Okay. Where were you thinking that you would be in Vancouver or Burnaby?
No, to be Burnaby.
Burnaby, okay. Awesome.
So North Burnaby.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting.
So that's kind of in the works right now.
Okay.
How about you? What's your number one goal for 2021?
It's to spend more time with family.
Good.
Yeah.
All righty. That's a great goal.
Yeah.
So listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. This episode was fantastic, and we hope that you get some more referrals this year because it is a bit tough right now with the limited amount of socializing that we can do.
Sure.
Right? So ask for the referrals and pick up the phone and talk to your clients.
And remember to always provide great service.
There you go. It'll speak for itself.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening.